Hi guys, so I'm gonna get straight to it. So today I'm gonna be doing a soft makeup look, and I'm gonna be using mostly the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette, which is my favorite. I use it all the time. This is also my go-to look. Okay. So the first color I was using my brow for my brow bone was the color Fresh from the palette, and then right now I'm using the color Birch for the crease. So like I said, this is gonna be a soft makeup look, so I'm actually mostly gonna be using this color on the crease alone, just because I want to create more of a soft vibe. So again, that was the color Birch, and then for my eyelid, I'm actually using my pinky because I've been doing that technique a lot for a kind of flushed look. And I'm using the color Pearl. I like using my pinky because it gives you like kind of like a softer vibe. So that's what I did here. And then, of course, my tea. And I'm actually drinking tea right now because I love tea so much. I like it whenever I'm doing my makeup. It just makes me feel, I don't know, so peaceful, you know? Anyway, so I'm also using, for my waterline, I'm using Ember from the palette. It's a really beautiful green olive tone color. And I kind of smushed my bottom lash line with the color Twig, which is kind of like a taupey, ashy brown tone. And for the top lash line right now, what I'm using is the color Dystopian from the palette, which is the darkest brown in the palette. And I like using that whenever I don't want to wear eyeliner, but I still want to have something on the lash line to kind of give it a bigger eyes look. I feel like I need a little something, something on my eyelids. I'm sorry, on my eyelash line for depth. Here, I just kind of took the blending brush and kind of soften up the under eyelid. The under lash line. And then I took whatever's left over on the brush and kind of defined the crease a little bit more, but hardly any. Again, I'm actually taking the same color Birch from earlier, but I'm using a denser brush so that it kind of gives it a little more definition. And then I always like to open up my eyes in the inner corner of my eye, I'm sorry. And I used the same color I used in the brow bone, which was the color Fresh, which is the lightest color in the palette. It's a very neutral, light beige tone. And it's a matte color. So I use that in the inner corner, and then I layer again the eyelid with the color Pearl because I wanted to kind of give it a little pop, but still keeping it kind of flushed and soft. So I didn't use a brush for the lid for this look. So for my foundation, I'm actually using the MAC Studio Fix Fluid in NC40. Although I am very dry, for some reason this foundation has been working for me. I usually use medium to full coverage, but I've been really going towards fuller coverage lately, which I'm shook because I never used to like full coverage. But this is actually working for me right now, even if I am extremely dry. I did use the Beverly moisturizer before putting on this foundation. But yeah, I like the coverage it's giving me. I'm really liking a little bit of a fuller coverage, but I am using the Real Techniques Beauty blending sponge for this. So it kind of softens up a little bit the fuller coverage. And obviously, if you want a full coverage, you'll want to use a foundation brush. So yeah, I'm using another layer. I usually do 2 layers of this foundation, and any foundation really. So I'm putting it all over. I'm a little lighter than this foundation, as you guys can see my neck, but I always like this tone. Regardless if I'm a little lighter, I'll just bronze my whole neck if I have to, because I like this tone. The What I'm using now as a highlight is the Custom Enhancer Drops and from Cover FX in the color Sunlight. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't love this product for a highlight. I like it, it's good, but I have used better products. I feel like in this video you can see it, as you can actually see the highlight really well, but in person it wasn't as poppin' as I like. I've used other liquid ones and I love them in person, but in the video it looks really pretty. This is something I don't know if I'm gonna buy again. Maybe I'll try using it as enhancer drops like it says here, like mix it with my foundation and see how that goes. But I don't love it. I like it, I just don't love it, but I do love the brand though. Cover FX has beautiful foundations as well as other products. Here I'm using the LA Girl Pro HD concealer in the color Toffee, and I love using these concealers. They're very affordable, and they have really nice shade range, and it actually, the staying power of them, it's pretty intense. I feel like it's really good everyday kind of concealer. Like I said, because of the price, it's really affordable if you're wanting to wear it every day, and I love it for nose contour. So I'll be using the same color Toffee for my nose in a little bit. So here I'm using it for that, and the color Toffee is a really soft tone, so I like that a lot. Yeah, so then let's see what I'm doing here. Like I said, I'm using a Real Techniques brush for this. I like using this like a flatter dense brush. Well, I don't know, actually I liked using it then, which was like a week ago, but I've been using a fluffier brush lately and I'm liking that a lot. It kind of blends it on its own, but like here I was using a flatter brush. So I'm doing a soft contour on my nose because I'm keeping everything soft for this look. What a difference. I put on my lashes to kind of, bring everything together, and I kind of cleaned up my eyebrows for this. So the lashes that I used are just like from a regular, like a beauty store around the corner. They're not a particular brand. They just came like that, like in a clear thing. So I don't know the brand, but they really bring the whole look together. They're kind of wispy and dramatic at the same time. So here I'm using my favorite concealer, which is the NARS creamy concealer, but the shade is a bit too light for me. The girl at Sephora was like, girl, this is the universal color, which is clustered. I do not agree with her. It's not a universal color. It is really good for brightening, but it was not a universal color. It was not covering my dark circles, but I loved the finish of it. So here what I did was I added to deepen up the clustered color that wasn't really my tone. I used the NC40 Studio Fix fluid from MAC and mixed it with some of the LA Girl Pro concealer in creamy beige, just to kind of deepen it a little bit, because like I said, I wasn't getting the coverage from the NARS cluster, not because it doesn't give coverage, because it's my favorite, but because the color wasn't really my color. So I'm gonna have to go back and get my color, but I still like clustered kind of for a brightening effect. I think maybe that's what she was trying to say, but either way it worked out. So to set that, I'm actually using the Mineralized Skin Finish powder in medium, which is my favorite to set the bottom, because it's not very matte. It kind of still gives me a soft kind of vibe, and I like that. And I like using pressed powders a lot. I get a little more coverage from the pressed powder, and I kind of took whatever was left over and kind of just evened out my whole face and kind of set my whole face. So as you guys can see, the coverage for this foundation is pretty intense. So if you haven't tried out MAC Studio Fix Fluid yet, I mean, it's a old school but good foundation to have. As far as coverage goes, I really like it. So here I'm just going over everything and setting it up. Let me take a sip of my tea. Oh, and I'm using the Morphe brush, and the brush number is M439 to set it. I love this brush. It is so universal. It's actually a foundation brush, but I like using it for my powder. But I think I'm gonna buy another one for my foundation just to see how it applies the foundation. I'm sure it'll be good. So I was showing you guys the Sultry palette that I love so much. I'm telling you guys, I love this palette. I will purchase it again when I'm done with it, because I love it so much. So I always like to go back and kind of smudge the bottom. I feel like it's totally me. It's like so me, because I like covering the I feel like it helps with my dark circles. Like, just it just brings everything down and it softens up the whole thing. So for that, I use the color Twig from the palette. And then here I'm using an old school foundation. I'm sorry, an old school blush as well, but I love it. I don't know if they still make it at MAC, but this is the Mocha from MAC, and it's a matte rose pink color. I love it so much. One of my favorites. To cover the glue on the lashes, I didn't mention this earlier, I used the NYX matte eyeliner in black. I think it's just black, and I love their liner as well. It's also very affordable, and I'm just going back and doing like little touches, and I'm using the same fresh color from the palette, the lightest color in the palette. So after this, I actually go back with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Gel, and I just make sure that my lashes are nice and groomed, and I just kind of soften them up a little bit as well with the clear color gel. I used to be into very intense bra before, but I feel like these past few months I've softened it up a little bit more. I don't know, I just like a little softer bra nowadays. I feel like it just softens up my look a lot. I used to do Ebony from Anastasia, which, if you know Ebony, you know that's intense. But this time I used the It Bra Power Universal Taupe color for my bras. I like it. I don't love it, but I had it, so I wanted to use it. I think I got it as a free gift at Sephora. Right here, I'm using my new discovery that I discovered, which is the telescopic L'Oreal Paris mascara. The wand is super thin, so it gets under the lashes really good. I love it, love it, love it so much for bottom lashes, but I actually for top lashes is really good as well. So if you're looking for mascara, check that out. I think it's like $11 at Walgreens or CVS. It's really good. So here I was just kind of going over the bottom, just cleaning everything up. And then another oldie but goodie that I love, another old school product, is the Golden Bronze from MAC. It's translucent iridescent powder. It's a loose powder, and it just gives you kind of like a golden vibe. As you can see, it's very subtle, but I love it. I always have this. I just can't get rid of it. And that is it. I put on my J-Lo hoops, girl, and called it a day. And of course, we can't forget the lips. I've been into big hoops again. I had kind of gotten over them for a while because I used to use them so much when I was younger. Like, it was a thing, but then it wasn't a thing, but then now it's a thing again. So I started using them again. So or was it always a thing? I don't know. But anyway, so the lip I'm using is the color Taupe from MAC, and this is also a really pretty everyday color. It's a matte lipstick. And then as a liner, I'm gonna be using the NYX lip liners. I really like their lip liners. They're very affordable. Again, like I said, I'm all about an affordable, good product, and I love using pencil liners versus mechanical. I'm okay with mechanical, but pencils I've always liked them more on the way. This is the color Soft Spoken from NYX, and I'm just making sure my lips are nice and lined and defined. So I'm just going over again. I don't know why, really. I'm just doing it. And that is it. So I typically, not all the time, but sometimes I'll go back with a little bit of either foundation or concealer and just kind of put it in my inner part of the lip, just to give it a little bit of depth, I guess. I don't know why I do it. I just do it. But I just think I was just softening it up a little bit. But this is the finished look. I hope you guys liked it. It could also be, it's actually my go-to look, but it really goes with a lot of stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.